Okay, here we go. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining my live. I will be starting shortly. We're going to be talking about, well, I just saw that President Trump is on. This is not what this live is about. I just saw that he was live um, talking to us. So, hey, hi, Dot. How are you? So, I was going to talk about today's date and then Venus and read some charts and see how everyone's doing. How is everyone? Welcome. We have this today. We have this North Node, Neptune, Venus, the Moon, and Saturn over here. I mean, this is a huge energy where we're focused at. And we have some trines going on and some sextiles. Isn't it funny? I was just thinking, isn't it funny how we have this going on, but I know everybody's feeling anxious. Hey, Tina. I know everyone's feeling anxious. I know there's a lot going on in the world. I said that in my Uranus video. I've linked all the videos that I'm going to be talking about in the description. But if you haven't seen my Uranus video, you need to go watch that. Remember, Uranus has to do with electricity, electrical impulses, and Taurus has to do with Earth, Mother Earth, food, any of those things. And I explain all that. And we're seeing now that it went, because it went on the 30th, 31st, Uranus went direct. And so, and it's at 23 degrees. You guys know from 22 on, that's when that planet is going, any planet that's at 23 degrees on is going to express itself fully. I reset all my notifications and I still don't get notified for your lives. I know. I'm working on that. So here's the deal. I think I felt the Uranus yesterday. My thoughts were going places. Yeah. There's a lot of fear too right now. I know everybody's feeling a little anxious and there's some fear going on. Um, but let me talk about the notifications. So here's the thing. When YouTube doesn't tell everybody this, but I've been on here long enough to know, because this was a thing back in the day, and they just haven't mentioned it again. But when you turn your notifications on, only 20% of my subscribers get notified. That's it. Like, so it's only 20% of who's subscribed to me is getting notifications, right? Now, if you're in my membership, you should be getting notifications each time. Each of my members get notifications. Um, but as far as for like just the regular YouTube, if you're subscribed, only 20% is getting notifications notified that I'm going on. So, what Tina was mentioning is what I'd mentioned before. If what we found through our subscribers, through our group over the decade that I've been on, over a decade, is that sometimes if you unfollow and then follow, or unsubscribe and then subscribe back, and then turn on all the bells, it'll put you in that 20%. But I think that's ridiculous. I don't think that that should be happening. Yeah, it is. So that's ridiculous. I know it's ridiculous. So, YouTube is a machine. It's here to make money too. So I'm like, the only way everybody gets a notification is if you're a member. That's the only way. But Tina, you're a member. You're just not getting notified with my regular videos, right? But you do get notified with, do you have all the bells on? So the bell and the check mark and whatever. If you have all of those on, it can get annoying if you subscribe to a lot of people because it'll give it to you. But again, it's only 20%. But I know that all my members are getting notified because I just emailed YouTube about that. So if you're a member, a revolutionary, that's what our members are called. If you're a revolutionary, then you will get notified when I put a video out for you guys, or when I go live, or when I do a special post for you guys. That's a definite. So I know, and it's funny how they don't ever mention that it's only 20% of your subscribers that get notified. That was a thing a long time ago. I want to say about 8 years ago is when they started that. And it's never come up. It's never come up like, um, yeah, nobody really ever said anything like they were upset about it. So it just kind of went under the radar. So yeah, so that's the deal. But if you'd like, please subscribe. Honestly, I love that everyone subscribed. But watching the video, liking the video, commenting on the video, sharing the video out, all of that helps me as I'm rebuilding my channel. And I've been working really, really hard to do that. So, yeah, remember old patterns? Remember Mars retrograde, old patterns? What are we nurturing? What do we feel? What are we standing up for? What are we watching? Um, Within us, right? What are we protecting? Not outside of us. So with you, right? There's this trine here going on too today. Um, there's a lot of energy here, and then we can't forget about this over here because it doesn't seem like there's a lot going to go on in February, like on the charts, but it's actually life is happening in February because a lot of these planets, so some of these planets are turning direct. And so, I mean, Uranus just turned direct, Jupiter's going to turn direct, and then Mars is going to turn direct. And if you watched my video for February, I know it wasn't long. I didn't want to go too detailed into each one of these things that are happening because I'm going to make a video about each one of them. But there's a 7-day period where we're all direct. So everything's direct that's supposed to be direct. I mean, obviously the nodes are not, right? But it's full steam ahead. We can already see things happening um in society because just because Uranus went direct. I'd mentioned that things were going to happen. We're looking at the flights and the immigration stuff and all of that. That's all like, what are we gonna, this is what Pluto in Aquarius is, right? Like, he's going to mess with your mind. What on a humanitarian level are we going to do together, right? This is no more about, right? This is no more about, oh, this is the way I feel, and so that's the way it should be. This is about working together, right? And I told you guys, Pluto is going to help us in Aquarius, both of them are going to help us understand how to work together and keep our own anonymity, not having to, um, ignore what we feel, what we believe, or what we think. And then there's no fear in saying, because Pluto's going to mess with your fear. So you have to be able to not fear and stand in your truth, whatever that is for you. Everybody, it's different. So, but today, February 1st, again, happy birthday, Aquarius, Aquarius suns. I'm an Aquarius ascending, but so my birthday is, I'm a Gemini sun. Anyway, so we have all of this energy here. We've got these north nodes, and I talked about how the north nodes, there's a video on that, and I put that in the description about the north nodes and how they're changing signs and what's going to happen with that, because your destiny is calling. This is the time, pay attention. Pay attention for two reasons. Pay attention because the nodes have changed into Pisces and Virgo, right? And Pisces and Virgo, again, 28 degrees, those are very prominent degrees, right? What is ending that's allowing some new starts to begin, right? And I know because everything's in retrograde, we're right at that in between where you may not feel like things are starting fast enough or things are going fast enough. We're actually in the void, and that's the north node and the south node in the void. We're in that space where we're like, we could go this way, we could go this way, we could go this way. Well, if you've been watching me, we've all been working on which way we want to go, right? But we don't see it quite yet. Things aren't coming quite yet. And um, we're like a little confused. And the confusion's coming from this Neptune. The Neptune direct is hitting that north node. So there's like confusion. Am I seeing what I'm really seeing? I don't, I can tell everybody right now, I'm not believing everything I'm seeing, right? Like I just don't. It's not because I'm jaded or whatever. It's because I know with Neptune direct, things don't always look like they're supposed to. I mean, things don't always look like they're the reality. How do I say that? Things aren't always what they look like. That's what I meant to say. Things are not always what they look like right now, right? You have to like give it some time to uncover. Um, and I talked about the Scorpio, the Cancer, and the Scorpio of being covered, right? So I'd said, um, I can't remember what video it was, where things are going to be brought to light. Anything hidden and secret, that's all coming up. And you guys have seen that over the last couple of weeks, right? But now that Uranus is direct, well, now we can actually see things are going to come about. Um, and then Jupiter's going to go direct. But right here, with this North Node and Neptune, and this is the second reason that you need to be watching right now is because Venus is starting its shadow, right? So Venus is the big theme. I'd said this in my February video. Venus is the big theme. Venus is going to start her unfolding her story, right? So our story within Venus, within us, we're starting to unfold that, right? We have been working on our old patterns in how we nurture ourselves and how we protect ourselves and how we want the people around us, what types of people we want around us. There are things that have been holding us back because of our old patterns. Now, we can go all into why those patterns are there, the way that we were raised, the families that we have, the DNA that we have. Like, we can go into all that, but that's not necessary anymore because we're not there. We've been doing that for the last 3 or 4 months, right? What we need to do is recognize right now, while Mars is retrograde, it's time to recognize what the patterns are. Don't get stuck with Capricorn, with Cancer. Don't get stuck with Cancer and, oh, I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling because I do these things, right? That's what Cancer wants you to do in here. And I want you to take the upper vibration of Cancer and say, yes, I have those patterns. Okay, we've already gone over why we have the patterns. Now, my job is to really feel when I see those patterns how I can change that because I already know that that's holding me back. That's Mars retrograde. What's holding me back? I am now cognizant and I see that's what Mars is retrograding in Cancer for. So that we see the patterns and now it's time to change them. Now you can take a look as to, oh, do I want to change that pattern or do I want to feel safe? Am I willing to take some risk? Because that's Mars, right? But it's within you. That's why we're not seeing much on the outside of us, right? Because as soon as Jupiter goes direct, you're going to start seeing a lot. It's going to be go time. It's going to be go time. And then there's what we're going to do is we're going to work with Jupiter, Uranus. Do you remember months ago in the summer, all summer, when Jupiter and Uranus were showing us our dreams, our possibilities? We were seeing it on the outside. And I'd said as soon as they started retrograding, you're not going to see that as much because now it's time to internalize, take what you know, believe in yourself. What is your belief system? And then start working on how you're going to make this go forward. Start working on which part, which dream. Did you want one dream? Did you want 5 dreams? Which ones of your manifestations of your life did you want? Right? And if you do, this is where Saturn had come in and said, I'm testing you. I need you to show me. I need you to do some work in it. I need you to. It's just like me wanting my YouTube as one of my dreams, right? Wanting my YouTube, I have to put in the work, right? And so, but how am I going to put in the work? This is what I've been dealing with for the last, since since the retrogrades, is how am I going to do that? How am I going to make that appropriate for my life? How am I, I'm just giving you an example, but it's like for all of us, what are we going to do? That's how we talk to the universe, by showing action. And they were just having us look within ourselves, and they are having us look within ourselves, take responsibility, be a conscious creator in your life. Now the planets are about to start helping us where we're going to see all that work that we've done on the outside. We're looking at our patterns. There was a couple of 2, 3 times where there was an old pattern of mine that I saw immediately, and it was scary. It's scary. It's scary right now. But I'm switching it. I'm not doing like I did before. And these patterns aren't just from us. These are our ancestors' patterns too, right? Yeah, Venus, Neptune. So just know that that's what's going on. And as Dot said, Venus, Neptune, Moon is so dreamy, very dreamy. So you can't always see what you're seeing is not what's really going on sometimes. This is why for the last year and a half, when Saturn went into Pisces, I said you're gonna need to trust yourself. You're gonna need to um, be aligned with yourself because yourself is gonna know the truth within you. Yourself is gonna say, that's not really what I'm seeing is not really what's going on. So what's going on, right? It's gonna cause you to question it, test it. That's Saturn, right? I told you guys, Saturn has been working on us several levels, but one of the levels is to help us do magic better, to help us really and the way to do that is to be aligned with yourself, to know, right? To just because you see something on the outside doesn't mean that's necessarily true. But how would I know that? Because within me, something's telling me that's not true. Wait it out, or look up here, or do this thing, or connect with me, meditate, do that stuff, right? Do your research, do all that stuff. That's Saturn in Pisces, teaching us, having us practice and teach us about our belief system, about our authenticity, right? And then Pluto's been in the mix lately because he's in Aquarius. That's authenticity. So Pluto's saying, all that you've learned, are you standing in your truth? Are you standing in your power? That's where this Uranus and Jupiter had come in with working with Pluto. Is like, and see this trine with Jupiter. Jupiter wants to give us all the gifts again, right? Jupiter also wants to give us wisdom, right? So, wisdom in standing in your power, understanding that you are powerful. But you had to go through this little test, right, over the last 4 or 5 months, right? About your dreams, about what you're trying to manifest. Are you putting in the work and standing in your power and understanding what you want, and not only what you want, because here's the thing, you may have been working and not getting much, right? Because this is all internal. So it's almost like Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Uranus were like, okay, we're pulling it back now because it's time for you to decide on some things. It's time for you to change these patterns. It's time for you to really nurture yourself and protect yourself. That's Mars, so that you can tell us. It's almost like having to have faith. And that's also what Saturn has been teaching us in here. You're going to have faith in yourself. You need to learn to have faith in yourself. So for a little bit, things aren't going to be coming as fast as they were. They're not going to be coming as easy as they were. And I'm talking about from the summer, when all this started hitting. It's like we're pulling it back. Thank you. Hi, Pineapple. We're pulling it back so that you can have faith in yourself, so that you know that you're resourceful, so that you know that gifts do come from the universe. There is a higher being. You are the higher being. There is no disconnection. You can get through anything. You already have. You just don't give yourself enough credit. You don't nurture yourself. You don't have compassion for yourself. And you have it for everybody else. You're willing to do everybody else, but not yourself. Yourself, you're so hard on yourself, you know. So does that make sense to everybody? Now, the main thing that I wanted to talk about was how this area right here, but how this Venus is in its shadow. And that's why I'm saying pay attention right now, because Venus is going to start bringing up those ways that you're not nurturing yourself. It's going to, so if some of you, with this Neptune and this North Node, with this Neptune here, this is just what I'm getting. For some of you, if you have toxic people around you, and Neptune is forward and not showing you the truth about things, it's making it very dreamy, just like Dot said. The North Node, Venus, and the Moon, very dreamy. And so you're making excuses about why those toxic people are staying. Hi, Shawnee, how are you? Thank you for coming in. It's nice to have you back. So meet everybody. This is the new crew. Some of them are still old crew. Dot was back in the day too. Pineapples, Kathy. Good. So just meet everybody. You guys talk amongst yourself. This is a great group, Shawnee, just like the other one. But this one's a really great group. It wasn't that the other one wasn't. It's just we've all grown. So welcome. So like I was saying, if you have toxic relationships, toxic people, but you've got this Neptune, Venus, and the moon, like they could do something to you and you're like, oh, it's okay. They're just they're in a bad mood. They don't really mean it. They really love me. They did that. That's not loving yourself. That's not being honest with yourself. That's not nurturing yourself. You're not even honoring the fact that they hurt your feelings or maybe hurt you in another way. So just be very aware of this, because whatever patterns, because this is all connected, right? And you guys should know a lot of this by now, but whatever patterns are coming up, especially with this, I mean, we can go on to people that are like, they believe everything that the government says. They believe everything that the media says. They're not seeing it correctly. They're not seeing the truth of what it is because everything seems so dreamy. And it's connected to the north node right now, the transiting north node. So maybe in this area, it's time for you to be a little clearer. The best way to do this is take a minute as Neptune makes everything dreamy, right? Remember, Venus, even though she's direct, will produce some things, but it's the things. I'm going to give you this thing that they're giving me. This is a good example. Going back to the example of if you have toxic situations, relationships, people around you, right? Venus will produce, even though they've hurt you in some way, you're seeing them. Oh, they didn't mean it. Oh, it's okay. Oh, da 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 da. And then they come back and apologize. That would be Venus. Am I nurturing myself? See, it's okay. They come back and apologize. They give you a gift. That's Venus, right? Only to do it the very next day again, to not have changed anything, right? Like, it's like, but that's the pattern. Do you see the pattern? The pattern is they attack, they're toxic to you, you make allowances, then they come back and they apologize and they bring you gifts and everything's okay and nothing's resolved because the very next day they're doing it again, or the very next hour they're doing it again. They have not changed that, and you have not changed that because that's your pattern, is to ignore that, to give them allowances, to, instead of nurturing yourself, to nurture them, right? So you're their Venus, but Venus is producing something for you. I hope y'all are understanding this. Venus is producing something for you. That is a pattern that you need to change because that is not going to get resolved unless you change the pattern, right? The pattern doesn't mean I have to get rid of those toxic people. The pattern is different for everybody. Changing the pattern doesn't mean you have to like let go of all those toxic people. That's up to you. Everybody's different, right? Like, I'm different than everybody else. I would cut that off real quick, right? But that's why I don't have that pattern. But that doesn't mean that I'm looking down on you because you haven't cut off that pattern. That's up to you and your growth and your chart and your soul and what you've come here to do, right? So maybe the pattern is I finally, for the first time, am going to tell them how I really feel, how it really hurts me, and how things would be so much better if this wouldn't happen, right? Because maybe I'm not giving anybody allowances. I'm just saying maybe they don't even realize that they're doing this the way that they're doing it. They just, or maybe they don't even understand or have the tools to be able to change it. But maybe they've always had to defend themselves to do that. And maybe finally, if you were to say something to them, that it hits them and they're like, oh my gosh, we got to change this. I don't mean to hurt you. I didn't realize that I was doing that to you. I didn't like, I'm not saying, I'm not giving excuses. I'm saying changing the pattern of stepping into your power and changing and giving your opinion and nurturing yourself and doing something for you instead of for them. That's all changing the pattern, right? For some, it will be like me, that it will be like, F off, you're out of here. But not everybody's like that. Only me. There's very few of us that are like that, right? I have toxic relationships with myself. Yeah, I mean, I do too. I think we all do, right? So, um, just know that what you're going to see, and this is even on a societal level, what you're seeing is not the truth of what you're seeing yet. Okay? Venus is in her shadow, which means she is going to bring that up. Whatever's going on right now with Uranus being, see the sextile with Uranus, shock and awe, the planes crashing, the immigration status, the ICE people, blah, 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 all of that. The Canadians finding the biggest, what is it, the biggest drug laboratory that's in Canada producing all the fentanyl, having it come over to America, but we're finding out that those labs are run by the cartel. Like, all of that's coming out. All of that's coming out. I told you guys in another video, everything that's hidden, it's not going to be hidden anymore, right? So, but yet we're over here looking dreamy. Oh, well, our country may do this, but their country does that. No, no, that's not how we're going to work together. We have to work together. We cannot be divided. They want us divided. We work together. We work together as humans, not as countries. We work together as humans. Now, trust me, I'm not one that doesn't know the real horrors of life and of war and of military. Trust me, okay? I'm just saying that's a pattern for us to be scared, get divided, start fighting against each other. A pattern that we need to change. This is where Neptune, the North Node, Venus, the moon is showing us we can do it together. There are good humans. There are good groups. There are good people in this world. And we can all come together. Okay? I don't know specifically as one person how to change the war. But I bet if enough of us are conscious, got together, we can change the war. And how if we're even going to have wars, right? Me as one consciousness cannot do it. But all of us together can do it. Does that make sense to everybody? Right. The truth will set us free. So for me, the example that I can give you is we all see the horrible things that are going on. Mars retrograde, Uranus sextile, Saturn testing us, Pluto showing us, Pluto messing with our fears. Are we standing in telling people what we really feel like, what we really think? The sun is over here really illuminating this for us, but Pluto will mess with your fears, okay? But we have this to balance it out. So the lower vibration of Neptune with the North Node and Venus shadow and the moon would be like, oh, I just don't want to see it all. I just don't want to see it, right? That's the lower vibration. The vibration you want to work with is, no, my goodness, there really are good people in this world. Life is not just about struggle. I see people loving each other and giving each other and helping each other and working together. That's that on the higher vibration. And then where are we going with this? That's the North Node. That's that, right? It takes a village for sure. Absolutely. So also we have this Chiron in Aries. There's two things I want to say. There's Chiron and Aries. We have an old wound, an old societal wound, and an old personal wound. Okay. I am learning how to organize systems in my city for us to work together to correct things that are not okay. Oh, that's so wonderful. That's awesome. See, that's Neptune, Venus, the moon, and the North Node, right? She's working with her community. She's working with systems of the path to change that, right? That's the higher vibration of this area right here. Saturn is saying, I will work with you. I have been training you how to bring these things down. These things that you envision. These things are in the Neptunian world. These things are in in your Pisces world. I can help you bring them down. I've been training you to bring them down. I've been showing you that just because you say something doesn't mean that can come out. You need to show me. I need action. I need decision. I need choices. I need for you to do those things, right? So that's the way to work with this in here. There still are good people. There's good systems. There are good organizations, right? We've talked about all the bad ones. We've been harping on all the bad ones that we had to like cut out, and we're still refining the ones that are still here, the organizations, the systems. We're refining them. We're redirecting them. We're looking at the old patterns and changing that. Uranus is here to help us. There's a sextile here. There's opportunity here. There's opportunity for everyone to come together. Instead of going apart and fighting each other, instead of saying, no, but your country did that. No, but your family did that. No, but your coworker did that. No, but instead of dividing and fighting, it's time to come together. We are in Aquarius. Pluto is in Aquarius. We are in Aquarius. Work together, right? He's going to show us fear because he needs us to stand in our power. That's what he's trying to help us understand. That's what he's trying to help us do. This is a 20-year, 19-year growth that we're going to do, right? But Uranus is finally here. Uranus is the themes of the food. You see that people's food is trying to be taken away. People's food is trying to be adjusted, right? But that is Uranus, who can kind of work like Pluto, but he doesn't mess with your mind as much as he messes with you physically. Pluto messes with your mind. Pluto messes with your psyche. Uranus can mess with you physically, right? Like, I will take the food away. Like, I will do da-da-da, right? He's trying, where Pluto is trying to help you stand in your power. Understand that you are resourceful. I know probably all of you here can make something out of nothing. I know you can. I know you've been to hell and back. I know you have. If you know me, you've been to hell and back. Okay? So I know you can. It's scary. I'm not saying you're not scared. It's scary, but you can do this because you've already done it. Right? You're just going to be doing it a different way until you don't have to do it anymore. That's what they're going to teach us, is we don't have to do this anymore. Right? But Uranus right now, with all the plane crashes, with what's going on, with the government's blah, 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 with like all of that, what's resourceful, what's Mother Earth, any of those things. Uranus is electricity. Uranus can be distant and cold. This is why I did that video. In my description, I have the videos that I'm talking about. So go back and look at those, re-look at those, because all Uranus is doing is trying to, where Pluto's helping us find our power, Uranus is helping us find our freedom. Okay? Jupiter is about to come and join the conversation moving forward, and Jupiter helps us find our wisdom. Now, they all have different characteristics along with those things, but those are like the major themes. Uranus is going to help us find our freedom. He wants us to step into our freedom. And if that means liberation, revolt, whatever that means, that's what will happen. Okay? Pluto wants us to step in our power. So whatever that means, he will do that to get us there. Jupiter wants us to have the wisdom of all this knowing that we're about to have, that we have been having. He wants us to help, because with great power comes great responsibility, right? So it takes going through the stuff to have the wisdom. But with that comes luck, prosperity, abundance, all of that coming, right? Mars is here to help you see where you're not protecting yourself, where you're not having that vigor and that ambition and that passion for yourself, right? Venus is here. She's about to to like go back into here and say, because she's in her shadow, right? About how you're not nurturing yourself, about how you're not giving yourself enough compassion. And if that means that some things have to go not exactly like we wanted them to, for us to like get out of our comfort zone for a minute, which Taurus does not like to do, right? To get out of our comfort zone. Pisces doesn't like to do that either, right? Get out of your comfort zone. Cancer doesn't like to do, none of us like to do it, right? The, the only one that I can see doing it is Aries and Sag and Leo and less Leo. But Aries and Sag right now are the only ones that are coming to me that don't like to, that will be like, whatever, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Now, Capricorn will do it, but Capricorn has to think about it, right? But I'm saying the only two that I'm thinking that will be like crazy enough to be like, I don't care, and then do it are these two, okay? Where do you think this is going? This is going to Aries, right? Thank you, Kathy. This is going to Aries. This is going to that area where we're like, I don't give up. I'm doing it, right? Like that, don't even think about it. You just do it, right? You have to be brave. You have to be courageous. You have to step in your power right now, right? So just know, and like I said before, I just saw that Trump went on. Um, and again, I'm talking about American because I'm American, right? And so just know with all of the things that are going on with the plane crashes, with the food being scarce because we can't afford it or there's not enough, or I mean they've tried all kinds of stuff throughout these since 2018, right? They've been trying to scare us with this stuff since 2018. Okay, we're a little bit more, we're at 23 degrees, we're a little bit 27, 27, 28 right here, right? We're moving in a different direction. It is for our society to have fate step in right now. It is for us to have fate step in right now. It's for society, but it's for us as well to have fate, destiny step in right now. Okay, so that makes sense to everybody. It's funny because in the back of my head, I'm seeing Aries like she don't care, he don't care, she don't care, and neither does Sagittarius. They'll just do it. They don't care. But poor little Aries, she's getting wounded over here. There's a deep, deep wound, deep wound, right? Now I'm going to do a video about Venus and the shadow and what we're going to be learning through that, just like I've done it with Uranus. And I'll be bringing up Jupiter again, and then I'll be bringing up Mars again, right? So, hey, just saw you all here. Hey, Polly, how are you? Just know that pay attention right now, okay? Remember there are good people. Remember your patterns. Remember to change those, okay? Remember, and it's really easy how to change those. If you don't know what to do, look within you and say, what am I not honoring? What am I not having compassion in myself for? What would I do to the friend if that happened to the friend? To my best friend or my partner, what would I do? How would I be compassionate? How would I go overboard? How would I have the drive, the ambition to do this? Because if it was them, I would have all of that. And what would I do if it was them? And then take that and bring it into you and say, okay, then this is what I'm going to do. And I am going to do it well. And I am not going to rest until it happens. And I am going to stand up for myself. And I am going to protect myself. And I am going to love myself. That's how you do this. Okay? Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Shawnee, when was the last time I saw you? Like, it's been a long time. I'm so glad it got to you, though. That means the algorithm's helping me a little. Just thinking. Uh, Shawnee Polly's a little newer here. So I'm behind. What is the conversation? I was talking about this stellium actually that's happening and all of these patterns and all. And Jupiter's about to go. So in February, Jupiter's going direct, Mars is going direct, and Venus is going to come here. So what's happening now, what you're seeing now, this in Pisces, it's like going over that last part of you honoring and having some compassion, having some belief in yourself, having some, you had to have the belief in yourself by not having it show up, right? Did everybody get that when I was talking about Saturn? Because they pulled back, these two planets, these three actually pulled back, and you weren't seeing any much on the outside, and you were having to work and work and work and struggle a little. It's because you were having to have faith in yourself. Now they're about to go direct. Can y'all hear my grandson? I fixed that door. I put a thing on it. He can't open it anymore. Anyway, so as they go direct, now we're gonna start seeing it on the outside because it's basically like Saturn saying you passed your test. So all the work that you've done from October to now, September, October to now, you're gonna start seeing it on the outside, right? And these planets are ripe for the outside, right? So, um, but Venus is the main theme this month, I think. And for me, Venus is the main theme because Venus, we feel more, right? And Venus is the beauty around us and the luxury and the money and the material, not just the material thing, but the material thing. The material things come from the inside. You understand that, right? The material things come from, am I honoring myself? Am I loving myself? Am I having compassion for myself? Am I nurturing myself? Am I taking care of myself? Like that's all Venus, right? So there are some things that we're having to sort of rework from 27 degrees to the 10th degree of Aries. So from now till Aries reaches the 10th degree, which is, I forgot the actual date. Hold on. I have it written down though. March. Okay. So from now until March, there are some things we're going to have to rework a little. Now, Venus doesn't retrograde for a long time. It's not going to do what it did over what Mars has done and Jupiter and Uranus, right? Or even Pluto. It's going to stay, it's going to be 10 degrees on March 2nd. It's going to retrograde and it's going to come back all over these planets. And guess what? It is going to come right back here at 20, I think it's 28, at 27 degrees. Sorry. So right now, Venus is going to go over Neptune, over this north node, go right to 10 degrees. So all of this, pay attention because this is what you're going to have to be rethinking, revising, reworking. Okay? All the way to 10 degrees. Then it's going to come back all the way to 27 degrees, be in this area again because apparently we have to do this area twice or three times. And then it's going to go back over here. So there's something at 1 degree. So I would say 29 to 1 degree where it is going to, these are going to come together again. So Neptune and Venus are going to come together again at 1 degree. So this degree is important. This area is important and this degree is important, right? Now, when they finally hit at this degree, we're going to get some solution. That is 1 degree Aries. That is a very powerful degree and a powerful sign, Aries. We are finishing something up. Pisces, the ending, the closure, whatever that is, of a level, right? We've got the North Node here, so obviously we're not closing everything out, right? But we're closing levels of our past patterns of our, and this is on a personal and a societal, right? This is very telling that we have to go over here twice, rework, and then finally at that 1 degree Aries, which is a very powerful degree and sign. And like I said, Aries and Sagittarius in my head just had me laughing because they'll just go. They don't care. They're like, if I lose it all, F it. I lost it all, I'll just get it again. Like, they're dangerous that way. I'm a Sagittarius moon, so I have to laugh, right? But it don't feel good sometimes. But there is something very powerful at this 1 degree that we are going to have in May, right? Oh, I'm sorry. It's April. Sorry. No, no, no. It's May. Hold on. I've got it in my notes. Yeah, it's May 2nd. So from now until May, in April is when it's coming back here. From now until May is what we're going to have to be reworking. And the themes of what we're reworking are, do we have compassion for ourselves? Do you have enough compassion for yourself? I need you to have the same compassion that you have for other people for yourself. You need to give yourself the grace, the kind words, the kind thoughts, the kind love, the understanding. I know it's you, so you're thinking, I understand. No, maybe you didn't understand at that point. Like, for other people, sometimes they just don't get it until they're ready to get it. Have that same compassion for yourself. Be so compassionate for yourself. Nurture yourself. When you make a mistake, it's okay. We all make mistakes. And tell yourself that. It's okay. You did the best that you could because you did the best that you could. It's you. So say to yourself, you did the best that you could with what you knew at the time that you do that. Okay? As we know better, we do better. Now I know. I don't just sit in that. I'm honoring it, and I'm just going to do a different thing next time. Yes, I may have to suffer a little bit because I made that mistake, but I may not. Right? I know, it may. But that's what this Venus is going to be, especially with that Neptune. And for some of you, let's just say you are good. Let's just say you do have compassion for yourself. You do have love for yourself. You do have all of that. On the higher vibration, this could be, have you been putting in the work, because Saturn is here, to connect to yourself, to do your abilities. Remember, just because we're in the physical, and I know a lot of us like to go to the spiritual, you have to practice there too, because you are physical. So meditation. I know that I'm just speaking for like in general. I know that I get really anxious. What makes me feel really calm is just closing my eyes. What makes me feel really calm is going and taking a nice bath and bubbles. What makes me really calm is going and having a nice dinner. What makes me really calm is journaling. Like, those are all practices that you need to be putting into place. That's Neptune in Pisces. That's Saturn teaching us how. So it could be, for some of you, not everybody, but for some of you, it could be that you're not working on the part of, I need to honor myself, compassion for myself, nurture myself. You're actually doing it, nurturing yourself. But let's just say on the outward, you don't see it that way. Okay. It could be, well, it's time for me to implement these things that I know. Am I doing the Reiki that I love? Am I doing the astrology that I love? Am I doing the tarot that I love? Am I meditating? Am I taking walks? Am I doing baths? Am I, maybe now's the time, this right here, where you're changing the pattern. You're really connecting to yourself because you have an awareness that once we hit here, we're going. We have, see these planets? They're moving into Aries. Do you understand? This point is going this way, but these planets, not this one, these planets, this one's going to take a little longer, but these planets are moving into Aries. This one's not going to take that long, okay? We are about to be manifesting so hard. And for some of you, probably not the people that are here, but for some of you that don't pay attention to this stuff, that don't have a clue as to what we've been working on for the last year or two, you're going to see these in people around you that don't do this. They're going to be like, I don't understand why that happened. I don't understand how that happened. I don't understand. I don't understand. Why does this thing always happen to me? I don't understand why how did this happen? What happened here? Now I got to change my job. Now I got to move countries. Now I got to da da da. Like they're going to be frightened because everything that we have been working on is going to start to manifest when all these come this way. Okay, we're no longer going to be in retrogrades, right? And all these are going to come this way, manifesting, showing. Aries physical. Aries ain't about the BS. She wants to see it. He wants to see it, right? So what do you think these planets are going to do? Show us, right? They're going to show us. And what are we going to be manifesting? If y'all have worked with me for a long time, you understand that we live in the past. And this is what I mean by that. I know this is going to sound crazy, but we live in the past. We manifest these things and then they become physical for us. Okay? So what we're seeing, what we're dreaming, what we're looking, what we're thinking, that's not like right there. Now it's become faster, but it's still not at the exact point that we thought it. It comes later. Okay? So we're going to, everybody gets the shot, is going to be seeing things in their physical world. And those of you that are aware are going to be like, yeah. And those of you that aren't are going to be like, oh crap. How come this always happens? How did that happen? I don't understand. That they're going to be confused. Okay? But Aries don't care. Aries is going to move forward. These planets are going to work with Aries. Okay? That's not the only thing. Uranus is going to be moving into Gemini. Okay? Every 84 years that Uranus has moved into Gemini, we have had a war. Okay? We've had revolts, revolution, war. Okay? Now, us personally in America didn't have all of them. We just got we poked our nose and got nosy in one of them, right? But that means that energy is there for that. But we can change this pattern. We don't have to go to war this time, which is the reason why I don't say it that way, because I don't want us to be thinking just because every time Uranus and Gemini shows us that there's a war doesn't mean we have to have it. We're changing old patterns. Do you understand how this is all connecting? We're changing old patterns on a societal level, right? Maybe it's this time that we don't. Maybe this time there's enough of us conscious creators that have changed the vibration to the next level of what Uranus and Gemini is going to be, which is exciting, right? Does that make sense to everybody? When these planets go here, see, there's a wound here. There's a wound here. That's why I'm telling you, some people are going to be like, what happened? And other people are going to be like, I already know because I worked on this. Yes, I hear you, Saturn. I hear you, Pluto. I hear you. I've been working. I've been good. Right? Some of y'all are going to be that way. You're going to be like, yay, that finally happened. Yay, I can see it. We can't see right now. We can see. It's very confusing. It's feeling confusing because that's where we're at right now. Very confusing. Almost like a fog. Like I kind of see it, but it's in our nature to look outward. This is why I want y'all to look inward. When you see something, just say, all right, I'm going to take a minute. What is my belief? What do I see? And what do I understand? And that's how you work in it. You're going to work within, not out. You're going to see some things outside, right? We're seeing things, but that's how to work with this energy. This Uranus is also sextile this Mars retrograde. What patterns have we changed and what opportunities are going to come up because Uranus is over here messing with the earth, messing with people? Okay? Good. So, February 4th, Venus is going to come here. Okay? Venus is going into Aries. Then February 4th, Jupiter turns direct. So we are going to start seeing, this is the vibration of the people that have been paying attention and working with these planets. Jupiter and Uranus, whatever was producing, Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, whatever all that was producing for you in, what was it? August, September. No, it was July, August, September, October. When everything was being like it looked all possible, when doors were opening up, when things were going easy, when you could think of something and it was manifesting, when all of that was happening the end of July, August, September, October. Okay, that is coming about again. That energy, that freeing open energy is coming about when Jupiter turns direct. Okay, now we're gonna see a little bit of like, am I nurturing myself, right? Because she's in shadow. But the great thing is we're having opportunity. The sextile. What patterns have I changed? Okay. Let me make sure that I said everything. Okay. Now Mars doesn't turn direct until the 23rd, 24th. Okay. When Mars turns direct, on the 23rd, 24th, we will have it's go time. There's no more, should I do it? I don't know. I should have reworked it. I don't like, there's none of that. I'm telling y'all, don't do that. You're not in that space right now. Okay. The only thing that y'all should be doing at that time, all of us, is am I nurturing myself? Am I nurturing myself? Am I protecting myself? Am I honoring myself? That's the only thing that y'all should be having to rethink about, okay? Because they're all going to be direct and it's go time. It's go time. It's going to feel faster. You're going to you're going to have a lot more energy. It's just going to feel better. Okay? So by the 23rd, 24th, there's no more rethinking any of this stuff over here. Okay? When these opportunities open up again and come around again and you can see it clearly again, what was happening in August, September, October, when all that opens up again, don't get shy and don't get chaotic in your head and making sure and double checking. Don't do that. Go. Make your choices. You know now. Go. Right? That's that energy by the 24th. Okay? Yeah. Polly says, yes, I'm in perfect sense. Kathy says, I am. And Pineapples Illinois says, yes, I'm following. Okay. So, good. Yeah. I think when we looked at your chart, you don't have like, you may not be feeling the same way A lot of people were feeling because you have been going. Yeah, it's going to be action go time. Don't rethink. Don't not trust yourself. You got to trust yourself. You've been working with Saturn. Trust yourself. Saturn, Jupiter, and Uranus already showed you. They showed you that you, and they had you look at it with Pluto actually at the time when he was in Capricorn, that you know how to make something out of nothing. Out of nothing. On top of being traumatized, on top of having the world against you, on top of not being able to tell your truth. Like you've been in the worst situations, all of you, and made something out of nothing. There are people that come into this world and have that one mission just to make something out of nothing with nothing else going wrong, and they still can't do that. You did it with all of that going on. And y'all did it more than once. You've done it all your lives. So this is just the changing of that energy, right? This is just the transmuting of that old energy, that old pattern, that old vibration. That's all we're doing. Right, exactly. It's so nice to say, oh, I'm a spiritual being and I'm having a physical experience, right? That's all nice. It's nice to say that. But do you really believe that? Do you understand that? Do you know that? Do you understand how wise and old and powerful you are? Do you know that? I hope you've gotten a glimpse of that. I hope that you understand some of that. Because it's all nice to say these flowery words, but if you're not ingesting them, if you're not digesting them, if you're not making them you, if you're not understanding that that really is you and it's not on the outside, just to show somebody, just to make somebody feel better, that's all Venus. Do you understand? That's all, that's Saturn. That's Saturn has shown you that you can make something from nothing. Pluto has shown you how powerful you are. You just went through the 16 years of hell, right? Like, do you understand that you are that? It's nice to be saying it to everybody. It's nice to make them feel better. But what about you? That's Venus. Do you know that about you? And yes, you may know it here, but do you know it here? You've already proven it to yourself. I don't know how much more proof you want for yourself. And that goes for me too, because I'm telling you, there's fear. Fear is like, look at these old things that are going on. These things that are happening on this earth in society with different countries. Go within and look for yourself. Right? That Neptune. There are good people. There are good organizations. There are good systems. There are good groups. We're a good group. We're a group and we're good. And we're not the only ones. See the moon, Venus, Neptune, and the North Node. And Saturn. Saturn tests us. That's just what he does. That's Daddy Saturn. But that's the way he teaches us. Yeah. So Polly says, I'm a spiritual being living a human experience. Indeed, I am. If you were, which you are, but if you truly understood, like I'm not even there yet, right? if we, let me just say, if we truly understood, then we would have so much faith in ourselves. And I'm just talking about just everybody, that we wouldn't worry about a house payment, a car payment, a food bill, an insurance payment, a health insurance payment, a blah, 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 blah. If we truly understood that we have everything that we need here, then we wouldn't be leaning on these things. Have you seen those people? I've met those people. I've met those people. Have you met those people who walk around this earth and they have a roof over their head every night? They have food to eat. They are so jolly. They have no stress. They have no anxiety. They know they work when they need to. They don't when they don't. They go through life differently. Like that's someone who and I've talked to those people too, and I'm like, how do you do it? And they're like, the earth provides. I provide. It always just comes about. They know that they are bigger than this world. They understand their connection to the other world. Now, we as society may see them as like, oh, I don't get you. I don't understand. You should have a 9 to 5. You need to work hard. What's gonna happen if you get sick? What's gonna happen if that's all our projection onto them. That's all our projecting onto them. They don't have any fear. They're going through life with smiles and happiness and joy. They truly understand their power. And I've seen it. I've seen it like come to them. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. That's how much they have faith in themselves. That's how much they have faith in this earth. That's how much they have faith in the universe. That's how much they have faith that in their higher being, but they understand that they are the higher being. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still learning too. Trust me. Y'all know my second house. What do I value? How do I make my money? Where are my luxuries? Like I still work on that too. That's a really hard placement for me. Y'all would think my Pluto is my hard placement because my Pluto's in my seventh house. I don't. I think it's because I've done it so many times. Abandonment, um, betrayals. That's all seventh house. I haven't done the seventh house Pluto yet, but that's all seventh house. But abandonment, betrayals, um, you know, lots of things like that where you have the closest people that turn on you. That's all seventh house. You would think that would be like my fear. That's not. That's not. Has it hurt? Yeah, of course. But that second house is for me is the deal. That second house is like I don't understand why we have to do this with Mother Earth and people. All of us can work together. I don't understand. I don't understand why I have to value this. Society is making me value money. I don't want to value money. Society's making me value this. I don't want to do that. Like, that's a struggle for me. But my Chiron is in that second house too. A lot of you, that Chiron is in that second house. Every time I do it, it is going to mess up until I've learned to work with it. Right? That makes sense. And then I meet people, because it's on my path to meet people who are like, I value myself. I value this earth. I value that. I can just walk this earth like I want to. I'm like, I want to be you when I grow up. I don't know how to get there. I'm trying. Oh, that makes sense. Am I valuable? Like I told you guys, I'll work on something and be like, did I tell them enough? Did I give them enough? Did I study enough? Do I know enough? Like that's all second house. Saturn is in there for me, and Chiron is in there, but Venus is in there too, right? For me in my second house. So I'm like, what is my value? Am I valuable enough? Did I give them enough? Does my group know enough? Do I do enough? Like, it's a struggle for me. Struggle. Even though in my head, I'm like, of course you did. You have a ninth house Scorpio. You have seventh you have a stellium in your seventh house. Your seventh house is ruled by Leo. You are an Aquarius, right? Like I have all that, and I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I don't think it's enough. You have Pluto in the second. Yeah, yeah. Well, same thing. So I told you guys Pluto. So all those placements for me is acting like a Pluto second house. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're right. That Pluto in that second house. And I did that one already. That one I did do, Dot. I'm talking about the Pluto series that I'm doing. That has taken me what, a year? Um, that's interesting. Probably says I ask myself often, when is enough enough? Yeah, that's not a question I ask myself. I'm asking, is it even enough? Did I do enough? Did I learn enough? Did I get it enough? Reminds me, like once you said, once it's the Neptune that's reality, not Saturn. Yeah, yes, that's true. I mean, Saturn is disguising itself as reality, and Neptune is disguising itself as non-physical or non-reality, right? It's funny. No, but I understand what you're saying. Saturn is disguising himself as reality, right? And Neptune is disguising itself as spirituality, right? Because if we are in our true selves, right? Neptune is the reality, where Saturn is not. Yeah. All right, everyone. Does anybody have any questions? I talked a lot. I'll cut this down and make it a video so everyone can go back and look at it. It has been great. I'm glad I was able to come on. Speaking of, for the members, for those of you that want to become a member, it's only $4.99. And you can click the join button down there. That's where I get on. That's where I'm doing tarot and mediumship and the other stuff. And she said no with a question mark. Anyway, we're reading a book in there too. And I'll be reading this afternoon. I'm gonna go take a break, go hug my grandbaby because I know he's mad because he could not get in. He couldn't open the door. Um, and I'm gonna go eat some lunch, and then I'm going to come back on. And for my members, we're gonna continue reading the book. For those of you that just become a member, the other readings of the book are there. You can go listen to them, and then by this afternoon, probably in a couple of hours. Uh, we sit by the fire, we get our nice little cozy tea or devil's lettuce or whatever you want to drink or eat, right? We all get nice and cuddly, cozy, and I read to you guys. So, for those of you that don't know, when I was very, very ill over 10 years ago or 15 years ago, um, my friends used to come read to me. And so I've always cherished that. And then my best friend growing up, she would read to me too. So I've always cherished that. That's a good time for me, and I want to share that with the world. So I'm sharing it with my members. So I will sit and I will read to you, and I will mess up and I will laugh and I will say words wrong and I will mess it all up. But it is so much fun, and we are all bonding because there are times, especially now, where we just need to relax and let go of everything and just fantasize, right? That helps us create our world. It's been so good to be here. Thank you, Shawnee. Please come back. And I know I haven't seen you in a while. Be sure to watch my video so you can catch up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate every one of you, all of you that are members too, that support me. I love you, love you, love you. I will see you on the next one.